So good afternoon. I'm Chris Cooney, President of the Metro South Chamber of Commerce. It is my pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon to Good Day Metro South. We are pleased to be here in Randolph today, so please take your seat as you finish up with the buffet. As many of you know, the Chamber holds these programs regularly. It is a terrific opportunity to come together, to reconnect with others, and to learn from interesting speakers on topics in a variety of fields. We have a very interesting program today, which includes remarks from the State Treasurer, Deborah Goldberg. Let's have a welcome round of applause for State Treasurer Deborah. In her honor, you may have noticed one of the roles she has is she runs the state lottery. And folks usually they think of the State Treasurer, and they do think of the lottery. So in honor of that, we gave each person a $1 scratch ticket this morning, and we hope that you are lucky with the lottery. And we keep in mind that many of the revenues that are derived from the state lottery in Massachusetts go to the arts and culture. And of course, we want to support that in Brockton and the surrounding communities like Randolph and Stoughton and Easton, so we appreciate that. We are so delighted to be hosted today by Grow Associates with a history of success in Randolph spanning more than 50 years and an operating budget of over $5 million. Grow Associates provides a wide range of services, such as community-based day supports, day habilitation, employment services, transition services, as well as transportation for folks throughout the region. Grow serves over 200 individuals with disabilities and businesses throughout the region in need of great employees. A major reason for our program today here is to showcase Grow Associates and its recent expansion. The organization gained an initial 25,000 square feet. This is the space that you're in, and an additional 25,000 square feet. So the building is over 50,000 square feet, and now Grow Associates owns the building and can grow into that space. We wanted to show you that and show that they are growing right here in Randolph, where they started more than 50 years ago. Let's have a warm round of applause for our hosts, Grow Associates. Now I would like to draw your attention to the green forms on each of your tables. These forms are for the question and answer portion of the program. Our featured speaker, Massachusetts State Treasurer and Receiver General Deborah Goldberg, has agreed to answer some questions from the audience as time allows at the end of the program. Please print your questions on the forms and just hold them up. An ambassador or a volunteer will come by and grab it. It is my pleasure to introduce our MC for today. Please join me in welcoming the Chamber's Chairman of the Board, Richard Hines of Barber Corporation. Rich.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. What a wonderful day. It's amazing when all these great people come together under one roof. It just makes the sun shine, as we see today. It's not only sunny, but it's warm. It feels like summer today. I'd like to start by welcoming you all here to Grow Associates. Let's have a round of applause for the cafe team, led by Chef Michael Scanlon, along with Jill Tompkins and the entire staff at Grow Associates for this wonderful cafe lunch. Also want to thank our chamber ambassadors that are in attendance that greeted you as you came in. Joanne Schneider, Ambassador Chair, Eastern Bank. Catherine Light, Eastern Bank. Riku McNeil, Bluestone Bank. Suzanne Fernandez, Northeastern Savings Bank. Brenda Cairns, Old Colony Elder Services. Mary Jane Aneen, Combined Insurance of America. Felicita Sepulveda, Cape Verdean Association. I would also like to thank our elected officials here today. Michael Bellotti, Norfolk County Treasurer. Jim Brenton from the State Senator Michael Brady's office. Tony Branch, Southeastern Technical School Committee office. We are pleased to introduce a new interviewer this session, Maria Calli, who holds a Doctor of Psychology degree, as the new Chief Executive Officer of the Brockton Neighborhood Health Center. Maria brings over 15 years of experience in federally qualified health centers in Massachusetts, alongside deep commitment to behavioral health integration and trauma-informed care. A proud Venezuelan immigrant, Maria's career began at BNHC in 2016 as Director of Social Services and Behavioral Health, followed by roles as Chief Operating Officer and most recently, Deputy CEO. Maria graduated from Tufts University with a degree in International Relations and earned a doctorate in psychology from William James College. And she was specializing in health psychology at William James. Her extensive background in healthcare leadership, combined with a passion for early childhood mental health and behavioral health integration, positions her to lead BNHC's mission to serve the community. Under her leadership as Deputy CEO, BNHC has grown to support a team of over 700 employees, conducting more than 200,000 annual visits and serving over 37,000 patients. Please join us in welcoming Maria Calli as our interviewer. She steps into her new role as BNHC CEO, continuing her dedication to enhancing access to comprehensive health care in Brockton and beyond.
Thank you so much. Yeah. For the introduction, this was very, very
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, our interviewee today is Jeff Hensel, Rockland Trust. Jeff is a Vice President, Small Business Administration, and Market Executive at Rockland Trust Bank. With over 20 years of experience in financial industry, Jeff is responsible for leading and executing strategies to foster the expansion and development of businesses by leveraging SBA 504 and 7A programs. Come on up, Jeff.
Yes, I think so.
Testing. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for the thumbs up. Much appreciated. All right, welcome everybody to this luncheon. We're so happy to be here. Thank you, Jeff, for joining us.
Jeff, closer.
Thank you.
Better.
I do. We have a technical problem.
Try volume 10.
How's this one?
There you go.
All right, wonderful. We're going to jump right in. So Jeff, for those that aren't familiar with the bank, tell us a little bit about yourself and about Rockland Trust.
So I come to the bank, I've been here for a year, I was brought over to run the SBA program and really grow that out and allow the bank to help our business customers finance their acquisitions and really to grow their operations. About the bank, we're primarily a South Shore bank. We're growing quite a bit in our market. We have expanded up north, out in Worcester market as well. We have over 120 branches, and hopefully all of you guys are customers in the room. If not, come see us afterwards. About myself, there was a brief introduction already, but I have a variety of different experience, but primarily I focused in the last 15 years on financing small businesses using the SBA programs to help them leverage that.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very excited because we miss your support. Jeff, what are some of the ways business owners can leverage a small business administration loan to their benefit?
So some of the ways that business owners can use the SBA loan, primarily we see businesses using SBA loans to help finance equipment, finance the purchases of inventory, if they have to get a new facility, any kind of large type purchases. But then we also see them using SBA loans for working capital needs, so if they need a line of credit, for example. And a perfect example of that is if you are doing a job and you need to purchase goods or materials ahead of time, obviously you have to cut that check to the supplier or vendor, but you haven't gotten those yet from your customer, so there's a gap there, and that's the perfect opportunity for a line of credit. And we also see customers use SBA loans more and more now for debt refinance. SBA's make that a lot more advantageous, boosting the guidelines quite a bit. So we're seeing customers that have 11, 12%, sometimes more interest rates, and we're able to refinance that and save significant amounts of cash flow every month. In addition to that, you see a lot of customers doing buy-ins. So we're seeing generational changes in businesses right now, and utilize SBA loans to help finance those. So I know that's a lot.
Again, one question, Jeff on his YouTube channel.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, that's a joke. But thank you. How about this? Can you highlight, Jeff, how an SBA loan can help a business considering ownership, as we're starting to mention? Can you just dig a little differently into that?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So one of the biggest advantages of an SBA loans is that it allows borrowers to get a loan that maybe they wouldn't otherwise be able to get through traditional financing. And that's the one advantage. The second advantage is that it allows the bank to offer extended terms. So if we could, for example, offer maybe a 5-year term with a non-SBA loan, with an SBA backing, we could potentially go a little further, even up to 10 years at some points. So that's the one advantage. We also allow customers to put less of their own cash into the deal. So we all know that capital is precious. Nobody wants to use up all their precious capital for any type of acquisition, buyout, et cetera. So under SBA guidelines, we're allowed to offer 10% injection into the project, versus typically it's 20%. So that's a huge savings of capital. So those are two examples where it's definitely advantageous for a borrower to use an SBA loan. As it relates to business acquisitions, as I mentioned previously, there's a lot of businesses right now that are going through generational changes, and we're seeing, the classic example is 2 50 owners, and one of them wants to buy out the other, or they're selling the business altogether to a new owner. So what we're seeing right now is that a lot of customers are coming to us for loans to do those acquisitions, and typically we'll do those with an SBA backing, which again allows a lower down payment and a longer term.
Wonderful, thank you. So how can business owners learn more about SBA loans, aside from going on the channel, which is not great? How can business owners learn more about SBA loans or other financial resources in their community?
So I do think that an SBA YouTube channel would be a phenomenal idea. However, and actually SBA in Washington does have their own YouTube channel, believe it or not, and they do the trading on there. But one of the biggest ways that customers can go for resources and information is talk to their local lenders. Talk to, we're always here to talk to a lot of customers, I talk to non-customers, anyone who wants information, we're more than happy to pick up the phone, talk to them, however we can help. Talk to your local businesses. One thing that I've learned through the years is that business owners love to talk about how they've grown. So you can ask any business, hey, how did you grow? How did you get the financing? That's a great untapped resource that a lot of businesses don't often think about, talking to their peers, talking to their competitors. Another resource is going directly to SBA. So SBA has an office right in Boston on Causeway Street, right down the street from the garden, and you can utilize them as a resource. You are able to call them. We would rather you call us first, but that's another resource. And throughout the state, they have small business resource centers. So MSBDC, there's locations throughout the state, so pretty much anywhere near you. And then a final resource, there's a lot out there. There are several CDCs out there. One of them is C, for example, and they're in the South Shore. So these nonprofits, they offer counseling, they offer a variety of different services, and you can go there and get information. But again, it's sometimes easier just to go to your local bank, call Rockland Trust. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions you have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for sharing your wisdom with us. And as a token of appreciation from the chamber, this is a gift for you.
Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to meet Tara, a graduate of Randolph High School and a longtime resident of Weymouth. For over 20 years, she's been a valued employee at Shaw's in Weymouth through Grow's supported employment program. Tara thrives on the creativity of Grow's sewing group and is passionate about giving back through volunteer outings. Recently, she earned her Serve Safe certification after completing Grow's in-house training and is now honing her culinary skills at Grow's Bistro program. Tara, come on up.
Wonderful. So, Tara, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm awesome. You guys don't know me, but I'm awesome. And I love working. I just took a nice vacation.
That's important.
Yeah. And I love working at Shaw's. And this is my boss. She's my boss, Pam. And I love doing podcasts.
You like to stay busy.
I do.
It sounds like
I
you
love
like to stay
busy.
busy. I'm glad that you also take your vacations.
Yeah.
Tara, what do you like most about Grow?
Hanging out with my friends.
Good.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're also learning about,
Bistro.
yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
I'm the head chef. I'm like the supervisor. I work with Mike.
Yes. That sounds fun
It's fun. I get to
and might even be delicious.
forward all this.
Sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's honestly sounds amazing. Tell us, Tara, are you employed? Well, we heard a little bit about this, but tell us about your employment in the community.
I've been gonna be a shot 20 years, November 1st.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Tell us more about that. A little bit more about your job.
I like giving the little, I like doing the, giving the little kids lollipops. And I like it, serving the customers. I don't like doing captions, but I have to do it.
There's always something in the
Yeah.
job that isn't our favorite. And sounds like you have a good support system at work too.
Yes, I do.
Your boss,
Yes.
your works,
Yes.
years. Yeah. And how about your friends? You mentioned your friends. Where do some of your friends work?
All different places. They work at Shaw, they work at
7-Eleven?
7-Eleven. All different places.
All different places.
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to share with us about your job? I mean, you're a very busy person.
Yes, I am.
About your job, about your learning at Bistro.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Jill, Brian, Marge, all the people who support us, especially Marge, who gets all the sewing supplies.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Oh, and don't forget Emily, she's a job. She's a supporter. She's a job.
We'll have to family, but thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For being here and for sharing about your work experience and about your awesome self and your friends and all these wonderful things that you're doing and that you're learning. We really appreciate you coming and being here for us.
You're welcome.
So token again, this is a Chamber's appreciation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and also I'm gonna be learning inventory, with my, going to be how to do inventory.
That's awesome.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Maria, for your rookie job as the interviewer. Good job. All right. So I'd like to mention a couple of other elected officials that are with us today. Quincy School Committee member Kathy Hubley. Sheriff Patrick McDermott. And Senator Walter Timilty. It's now my pleasure to introduce Massachusetts State Treasurer and Receiver General Deborah B. Goldberg. She is responsible for the state's cash and debt management, unclaimed property, and chairs several state boards and commissions, including the Massachusetts School Building Authority, the Pension Reserves Investment Management Board, the State Board of Retirement, Massachusetts State Lottery Commission, and the Massachusetts Clean Water Trust. In 2015, she established the new Office of Economic Empowerment, the first of its kind in the country, and chairs its Economic Empowerment Trust Fund. Treasurer Goldberg is the former president of the National Association of State Treasurers and is the co-chair of the National Institute of Public Finance. As a former businesswoman and local elected leader, Treasurer Goldberg brings innovative leadership, disciplined fiscal management, and an unwavering commitment to uphold economic stability and create opportunity for every Massachusetts resident. Treasurer Goldberg served for 6 years on Brookline's Select Board, including 2 as its chair. Prior to her career in public service, she worked in retail operations, buying and consumer affairs at Stop and Shop. And by the way, I should mention, Stop and Shop is a major employer of people that come out of the GROW program and also a major financial supporter as well. Treasurer Goldberg is the President Emeritus of Adoptions with Love and serves on the advisory board of the Greater Boston Food Bank. She was one of the founders of Berkshire Hills Music Academy, a school for individuals with intellectual disabilities. Is a trustee emeritus at Beth Israel Lahey Clinic and a former director of Affiliated Physicians Group / Beth Israel Deaconess Healthcare. Treasurer Goldberg has been actively involved with numerous philanthropic activities, including the GROW Clinic, the 100 Club, Planned Parenthood League of Massachusetts, and the Combined Jewish Philanthropies. A graduate of Boston University, Boston College Law School, and Harvard Business School, Treasurer Goldberg lives in Brookline with her husband, Michael Winter. She has a son, Evan, and a daughter, Meredith. Please welcome Massachusetts State Treasurer and Receiver General, Deborah B. Goldberg.
So a lot of people, I want to make sure everyone can hear me, because I know we've got this fan running and it's creating a lot of background noise. A lot of people ask me, well, you went to BUBC and Harvard, who do you root for at the Bean Pot? Northeastern. I was actually asked that on an interview on television, and they thought they got me, and they didn't get me, because when I said Northeastern, they both looked stunned, and I said, my husband went there. So in other words, we don't lose, which is a lot better, Senator, than elections sometimes go, correct? But you won, and congratulations to you. So it's always a pleasure to be with real people. outside of the building who help keep our economy vibrant and strong, and particularly in the Metro South region. I'm very proud of the work that we do at the Treasurer's Office because our focus from day one was to figure out a way to ensure economic stability, economic security, and economic opportunity for everyone. And certainly, the GROW program is a fabulous example of that. So we strive to invest in people, in our communities, and in small businesses. You know, I'm a former grocer, and that's why the mention of Stop and Shop. Unfortunately, our family went through a hostile takeover in 1988, or we would not only still be there, and I would be there, kind of running the place, but we would be not closing stores, we would be expanding opportunities. But I found another calling, and look where I am, where I can make a statewide impact. And so I recognize better than most, because believe me, my mother's great-grandmother started our first store on the corner of Prince and Salem Streets in Boston's North End. And from day one, every person she knew in the neighborhood had a job or a roof over their head if they needed it. And with the other ladies in the neighborhood, they started a home for the elderly. That's what small business is about, and that's what all of you are about. And truthfully, almost 2/3 of new jobs created in the US originate in small businesses. So you here in this room, and I know how important all of you are. So in 2022, our Treasury team launched the Small Business Initiative, an online, because you got to do everything online today, statewide small business toolkit on how to plan, maintain, and grow a successful small business for budding entrepreneurs. Now, I wish that Lizandra Gomes, who works in my office and is the Deputy Chief of Staff, were here today. Because honestly, she was the impetus behind this, and she's from Brockton. So of course, all great ideas come from this region. She happens to be attending a wedding, so I guess that may have been a little more important, but I want to give her a shout out and acknowledgement. This work that she and the group together have done tries to empower entrepreneurs and innovators. And our first series that we did for these folks was in September 2023 in collaboration with Citizens. Sorry, Rockland, but you've been great too. I know you have. And it had a wide impact. We reached 81 business owners in the state. Building off of last year's success, this past spring we partnered with M&T to continue the series. And the Small Business Empowerment Series includes free workshops that equip Massachusetts entrepreneurs with the knowledge and skills necessary to create a strategy, implement successful planning, and make wise financial choices. We hope that by providing this at the beginning, we can help entrepreneurs not fall into some of the mistakes that can happen, and that they can continue to grow and thrive as they're developing their business. The role of partnerships in this endeavor is crucial, and support from the private sector are prime examples of how these collaborations can lead to transformational outcomes. It's been invaluable, again, in helping us fund childcare startup grants in gateway cities, and in supporting efforts to expand access to financial education as well. At the local level, we have implemented the Community Ambassadors Program, part of my Office of Economic Empowerment. Yes, we really did, as soon as I came in, created an actual office that focuses on what my mission, which I shared with all of you, is all about. And our community ambassadors play a crucial role in helping entrepreneurs and small business owners access the small business, well, this is the name of a website, smallbusinessma.org, which helps them navigate the website and find relevant resources and tools and share information on upcoming initiatives, events, and opportunities. It also shares our toolkit, and we organize educational webinars, and our ambassadors visit community business hubs to share this information and collect feedback. The concept behind the Community Ambassadors Program is we want boots on the ground. We want to hear back from people in the communities. We aren't just like up there in Boston deciding what you all need to know. We want to give you what you need to know. And the only way we know that, this is the grocer in me, I worked in the stores, I heard what the customers needed, is to have our people working directly with you. Our community ambassador from Brockton, Tashay Figuerosa, is a passionate advocate who is deeply committed to helping her neighbors. Most recently, she partnered with the Brockton Housing Authority and South Shore Bank to secure financial workshops on money management for seniors at Belair Tower and Campello High Rise. In addition, she has organized panels for small business owners to highlight resources on our small business website. And she has distributed materials to over 40 organizations that serve individuals and families throughout Brockton. If you're interested in getting in touch with her or are curious about the community ambassadors and other programs, I have someone for you that you can charge right over and talk to. Michael, raise your hand. Are you offering bottles of water or are you waving hello? And Michael can help you. He's a member of our Office of Economic Empowerment and our Small Business Initiative. And I know you think Liz is a rock star too. She is. Seriously, he'll be happy to help you. These partnerships, either with the private sector or at the local level, have helped launch new possibilities for countless Massachusetts residents. So here's another tool. It's our Invest MA program. This program creates and supports a strong small business sector, including a robust banking sector, and is critical to providing the capital needed for Massachusetts' economic future. You all know this, but I'm going to state it again. Small businesses and sole proprietorships make up 85% of businesses in our Commonwealth. Significant, important. The Investing for the Long-Term initiative, which is Invest MA, intends to promote the success of small businesses by boosting loans for those businesses through increased deposits that will add capital to a bank. With the tightened credit markets as a result of bank failures and Federal Reserve interest rate increases, which thank God this week came down, and more than I anticipated, I will tell you. So that's a very good sign, but I tend to lean conservative in anticipating the future. This environment has given additional difficulties to small businesses seeking loans. However, a number of financial institutions, primarily smaller local and regional banks, have continued to maintain or expand their small business loan portfolios, and these banks provide critical resources to the Massachusetts economy. So we created Invest MA to shift state cash deposits that are under the control of my office to banks that are willing to expand their small business lending. Good deal, huh? In fact, we just reached a major milestone. Participating banks have now received a total of $400 million, and these funds will be available as small business loans to Massachusetts small businesses. This achievement builds on my office's progress towards supporting small businesses, and it does represent what we can do for entrepreneurs. We are now accepting applications for new banking partnerships. Anybody know, is Rockland on the list? You're gonna rush back and find. Text to make sure that you're not, because you might be, but if you're not, hello. We're now accepting applications, and I invite you to visit our page under MassGov, Investing in the Long Term, to learn more about the requirements. CORE. We in my office have deferred compensation plans, and we do it at a very low cost to the people who place their faith in us to help build towards their retirement. I don't have to tell all of you about how difficult it is to save for retirement and how many people are not covered because it's just not affordable. Since I was elected in 2014, 10 years ago, can you believe it, Walter? Time goes by when you're having fun. Of course, if Michael Bellotti were here, I'd be able to remind everyone that he and I both started running in 1998 for things. I'm teasing him. I did send him a picture, though. I'm a character. We have a plan called the CORE Plan. And it is currently only available by its limitations by the legislature to serving nonprofits with 20 employees or less. Now, I'd be very happy to not only be able to do this for every nonprofit, but for every small business, just saying. And we have been working to try to expand that for some time. We launched it in 2017 with a simple mission: to help Massachusetts nonprofit employees save and invest for a financially secure retirement with a tax-deferred and post-tax 401k, and we have just taken off. But the tragic thing for me is when an organization with 21 employees come to me and I'm not able to serve them. So let's lift that cap, just saying, and you should share that with all of your state representatives and state senators. If you're in a small nonprofit with over 20 people, that you would really love to join the CORE Plan. So we know how difficult it is for saving, and this is a top priority for me. Our nonprofit sector is critical in Massachusetts. These workers provide essential services and benefits to our communities that go beyond. Look at GROW. Just look at GROW as one example. And we know that women, people of color, and millennials make up much of the nonprofit workforce. And historically, these are also the people who have suffered the wage gap the most. And therefore, it is the most challenging to save for retirement. So I think you can tell by the way I described this that this is a top priority to me. And it will continue to be so until we achieve the opportunity to provide the CORE for as many people in Massachusetts that need it. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the ABCC. So you've kind of heard, I manage cash and I manage debt. I actually manage the Massachusetts School Building Authority that partners with local communities. We have the retirement board and we have the pension fund. But you kind of heard about the lottery. The lottery is in the treasurer's office. Well, so is the ABCC. Now, the good news is that I had plenty of experience around licensing and the alcohol businesses prior to becoming treasurer. So I actually understood what the ABCC did. As a local elected official, knew I needed my lottery dollars. So a lot of these things I had already had experience in. But one of the things the ABCC is doing, and is doing well, is they've expanded their outreach licensee compliance training programs and special events to support people of color and those from low-income communities. By going out and having events and meetings to show how to open and manage successfully in this type of regulated environment. Again, a small business. And so many small business owners who want to get into this area aren't familiar with how do you do it? What are the regulations? What is the process I need to follow in order to not make missteps and actually get in trouble? So over 2023 and 2024, we had 37 compliance seminars to assist people with recent statewide compliance issues and best practices. During these seminars and municipality trainings, because we wanted to let the locals know too, 22,435 alcoholic beverage stakeholders, including licensees, participated, and 33 of Massachusetts municipalities were visited, including Brockton. Also in 2022 and 23, we translated our frequently asked questions into 11 additional languages to expand access and support to a wider range of audiences. And that's something we do in all my offices. The Office of Economic Empowerment, when we first kicked off my baby step savings plan, and that's a whole nother topic, we did our pilot in Worcester, and we had over 70 languages and dialects to make sure that everybody knew what was available. Working with communities and industry stakeholders are critical. You heard me say it about the ambassador program. That's how I feel about all the programs we do. So in conclusion, I want to acknowledge the vital role that all of you play. Maybe because I was a grocer, maybe because I worked in the stores, and not just in my own neighborhood, but my dad lived out in Springfield when we were little, and we used to, in order to be with him, go there and stay and go to hearings and go to the stores and talk to people. I can walk into a warehouse and the guys and women loading the trucks actually call me Debbie. The key to our success is, and always has been, through partnership and collaboration. And so I look forward to the partnership and collaboration that we can do to try to help make this state more affordable for everyone. That's my own personal goal. When Stop and Shop was no longer available to me, and I felt as an employer, we provided a lot of economic stability for people throughout the state at that time. Don't ask me about Stop and Shop now. They don't actually like me because sometimes I'm on the picket lines with the workers. True story. I wanted to find the right role in state government to be able to create those opportunities again. That's our goal in the Treasurer's Office, and each and every person who works with me is passionate about that mission. So whether it's Mike, whether it's Andrew, whether it's Michaela, or anyone else that you come across, we all know we're in this together. So thank you for having me.
No, I think maybe you can say there and I'll stand up.
Okay, great. And by the way, I don't even need a microphone.
You know what? I probably don't either.
Don't forget, I'm a mom of 2 kids. Evan!
And I'm a mom of 3. All of them. No. Does this work? No. Okay, so you have, Madam Treasurer, you have the better microphone.
Okay then.
Okay, and we will use our mom voices
Okay.
to project.
Meredith?
All right, there are numerous questions, but we're only going to get through a couple. So,
Let's just.
as
We're doing good. We're
you're
doing
on-
good.
Yeah, we will stay on time. As Treasurer and Receiver General, you have overseen the inaction of several initiatives credited as being the first of their kind. What drives this innovation?
Well, I think I kind of said that already. Some people don't do this, and the senator will share that with you. Some people look at an open position and go, I'd like to run for that. I actually didn't look at it that way. I looked at the treasurer's office, and we have 13 departments. I looked at every single department to make sure that I had experience in all of them. I did. And that's why it was like amusing about the ABCC, because I already had that experience. I don't know how many people who run actually have previously had that experience. However, it was important to me that we could develop innovative programs on the policy side. And so what I did is I called some already elected treasurers, and I said, I feel that people aren't given the financial skills they need to survive in this crazy world, and that there are no clear-cut programs or statewide capacity to give people those skills. They all agreed with me, and in fact, believe it or not, the treasurer of Tennessee, also the treasurer of Nevada, both gave me ideas. And so that was one program. I also saw that debt was crushing everyone, which is a part of not having the financial skills to have those kind of understandings, not to assume all that debt. But I wanted to do something significant about that, and we created a seeded savings account that's good for college, community college, voc tech schools, the supplies that kids need. And after our pilot, since 2020, every baby born or adopted in Massachusetts in the first year of life, it's on the birth certificate forms, check the box, you get a seeded account. But what do I use that for? Wrapping financial education around the families. So we have developed all sorts of strategies to try to achieve the mission of creating economic opportunity and security. I would like to get a bill passed in the legislature that teaches financial education in the schools. It is in the legislature right now. And in it, we provided ways in which to raise the funding to help pay for it, which is a critical piece. Having been a local elected leader, I know we don't want unfunded mandates. That crushes local communities. So this is just a flavor. We could be here for another hour while I go over all the innovations that we've come up with in our office, but we're doing it all the time. Community ambassadors is yet another one. We knew we had the goods. We just needed people in their communities to be able to get the information. It's great if you sit up in Boston and you'd have wonderful ideas, but if you can't get them to people, it doesn't work. The other thing that we're working on now, and we understand that funding has been tight this particular year, is a program called Baby Bonds. And that is to break down the income disparities that exist for too many people for too long, and create a savings program that goes through a child's life till they're over 18 and helps them build assets, start a small business, buy a home, get an education to help you with those things. So lots of good stuff and more to come.
Thank you so much. So on the point of the financial literacy in schools, you just dive a little bit deeper into how you and your office believe that curriculum will affect Massachusetts economy and businesses as these individuals enter adulthood.
Is there any person in this room who doesn't know that kids think that money comes out of the wall when you slip a plastic card in it? We want to change that. We want, from the youngest ages, for kids to understand basic savings, planning, and what all these things that come flying at them mean. Kids receive these packages from colleges, for example. They couldn't interpret them at all. I had one young lady, very bright young lady at Haverhill High School who was probably going to get into a significant number of colleges. Sadly, what her parents said to her is, don't pick the school you want, take the loans and we'll worry about it later. That is not good for our economy. When you have college graduates that can't afford to buy a car or can't afford to move anywhere to where a job is because they don't have that car to commute to, because they're being crushed by loans, decide not to have more than one child. I'm a retailer. I want people who have excess cash to spend. That then creates a sales tax. What does the sales tax do in this state? It builds our new schools, is what it does. These things all come together. And so what we strongly feel is that the key to a stable economy is having people all over the state understanding savings, planning for the future, and how not to encumber themselves in debt. Thank you.
How can we get that into the curriculum so that my children?
See that guy there before he gets out the doorway, trip him? We have a lot of support on this, and I persevere and I don't go anywhere. So, I mean, I am hoping that it will happen shortly. And I think that part of what helps it, and I'm sure the senator will agree, is the fact that we have a funding part of it in order to support the program. Because again, there's enormous need throughout the state, and revenues have been off this past year. And as your state treasurer, who is also a fiscal steward, I pay attention to all those things and making sure that we keep our bond rating strong. And now I could talk about all my technical things, which will put everyone to sleep since they've already had lunch. And that's usually, there's a theory that after you eat, you slow down a little while your body digests and all that. So I could talk about that. We could do it at another occasion.
Early morning post-coffee.
That espresso.
Exactly. Okay. I know that there have been a lot of exciting programs that you've elucidated on for us. But for a moment here, as we celebrate all of what has come and things to come, in your opinion, what is the largest success of the Office of Economic Empowerment so far?
Well, I have to say, Baby Step Savings Plan. It was a dream that I had before I ever was elected. It requires partnerships with outside funders. That's another thing. I always run on things and I say, at no cost to the taxpayer, which makes taxpayers very happy. The Baby Step Savings Plan is funded through a 501c3 that we have in the Office of Economic Empowerment called the Economic Empowerment Trust Fund. That's how we do the partnerships with Citizens, M&T, and others. At the time, Santander gave us our seed money for our pilot programs, and we we worked with Worcester as our city, because Worcester is one of the most diverse cities in the state. And then we worked with the suburban community because we were trying to develop strategies on what works. We worked with funding through the kindergartners and through middle schoolers. And that's how we learned that best thing to do, and the good news is I had a great relationship with the administration and the Secretary of Health and Human Services, and I said, want to put a checkbox on the birth certificate form? And that was a great success because we were able to get to the families the minute that baby arrived. So I would say the challenges around funding and creating baby steps, and it continues to be a challenge. We have to constantly apply for grants to fund it, is something that I care deeply about, Because honestly, in this state, you need a post-secondary education. We are a high education state, and the skills you need, including in the trades, you need a post-secondary education. So we want to help pay for that, and we don't want kids having to go to school for 6, 7, 8 years before they can complete it. We want it all planned for up front so that we can get them into the workforce, because everybody in small businesses and above need workers. And then we need to employ everybody. So we have economic stability for the state. And so it's one great party, and that's why it's my favorite, maybe favorite. I have one other. Credit for Life fairs and applications are open right now. We've reached 60,000 high school kids and shocked the hell out of them. And that's what it is. It's give them a shock. They come in, they get a job description, they get a salary, they think they're rich. Never heard of FICA, never heard of taxes, never heard of if we adopt a dog, the dog could get sick and look at vet bills. First thing they want to buy is the newest iPhone. So this next couple weeks are going to be wild in the stores. But the point is that until we get this education in the schools, this program is for juniors and seniors. We're trying to get to them before they assume all that debt. And what they do is it's like a day in the life. Did anybody ever play the board game Life? So it's like that, but for real. It's in gymnasiums at the high schools, and booths are set up everywhere. So they get the job, they get the salary. They go around and start doing things that you do in your life. They think they're rich, so they don't need a roommate, but that's why they buy the dog, because they don't want to be lonely. And by noontime, 95% of them are at the credit counselors. And it works. And it works. So that's another great program. Applications are open. They're probably on the OEE website. Is that? Yep. Michaela says yes. So.
Excellent, thank you. Do we have time for one more?
Let me.
This might be a quick one.
Depends on Route 24, but yeah.
This one's quick. This comes from the audience. There have been some ads on the radio for jackpot.
That's not me.
Yeah. So how is that possible? That seems to be an ad for playing the lottery is not affiliated with the office. How is that? How is that happening?
What the jackpot people have done, and they've proven the need let them make money. The state, the money from the lottery, the profits 100% go out to local communities. It's the only source of unrestricted local aid. So if your community needs more firefighters, it pays for that. If your community needs crossing guards, it pays for that. It pays for snow removal, and if you've got 100 extra feet like we did in 2015, it pays for that. So they became a lottery agent. So they became a certified lottery agent, and they go out and purchase the tickets for these people who place orders with them. The law allows it. I know that several people were, when they first saw it, including legislators, were pretty surprised, but the law allows it. And it's not us, and so the profit doesn't go directly to us, except they're a good customer of ours. So they have helped revenues, but no, it's not us, and daily fantasy sports is not us, sports betting is not us, none of the casinos are us, and they compete with us, but they're for-profit businesses. And yes, they pay taxes to the state, but I give the state all my profit. And we have one of the lowest operating overheads in the country. We're one of the most successful lotteries in the country or world, for that matter.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking this time to answer our questions.
Oh, do I get? Yes, I want one too.
Pleasure of Expressing our
And
gratitude in the form of this beautiful token of appreciation.
You have no idea how much I love pens. I steal everybody's pens, so now I don't have to steal, I can just be given one.
You know you're an adult.
I don't know,
when
it's
you
like
get
my-
excited about a pen.
Paper clip, this comes from my dad. Paper clips, rubber bands, pens, you name it. So, thank you.
These are really good pens, too. Deborah.
There's the pen.
Yeah.
Nobody try to take that pen.
Andrew, Michaela, don't you dare touch this pen. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Maria. Okay, a few chamber updates. October 3rd, 5 to 7:30, Stonehill College, the legislative reception. Maybe we'll see Walter there. Okay, we'll see Walter there at Stonehill College. Mark your calendar. October 10th, 11:30 to 1:30, ribbon cutting for Gather Health. October 17th, 8:30 to 11:30 a.m., Good Morning Metro South Housing and Transit Summit with partner New England Real Estate Journal. And featured guest, Massachusetts Secretary of Transportation, Monica Tibbetts-Nutt. October 24th, entrepreneurial panel at 4 p.m., followed by business after hours, 5 to 7 at BSU. And now for the door prizes, drum roll. Okay. And the winner of the first prize will be featured in the Action Report newsletter and also receive a $25 gift card. Winner, Ren Cato, South Shore Bank. Please see Emma on the way out before you leave. Door prize number 2, donated by Grow Associates, and the winner is Sue Lawrence, Informatics Health Incorporated. Okay, and again, see Emma before you leave. Okay, a few thank yous for making this possible. Today's ambassador team, thank you. Rich Morgan Photography, Brockton Community Access Channel, the Enterprise News, our sponsor, Rockland Trust, host, Grow Associates, interviewer, Maria Kelly of BNHC, and finally, thank you to our speakers, Jeff Hansel, Tara, and Treasurer Deborah B. Goldberg for being with us today. Now, you look at the center of your table there, you see a centerpiece there. And the winner will be the person whose birthday is closest to today. All right, looks like we have winners at every table now. So, folks, we'll see you on October 3rd at Stonehill. That concludes our program. Have a great weekend, everybody.